Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kath.
Hi, Care. Welcome to the Sedona Heritage Museum's Artist a Day series. We were really disappointed this year that we couldn't have our arts and crafts fair in person. It's a wonderful event that we have every year. It's enjoyed by both our vendors and our visitors who like to come and do their shopping, get it done early and talk with all the artists. So we decided to go ahead and do a virtual program this year and see how that goes. So we are bringing you live interviews. We're doing it every other day. We're going through November 9th. We have quite a few people lined up for you. All of the information is on our website, sedonamuseum.org. And right on the front page, you'll see a link to the event page, which lists all the artists. And then there's more information. If you click on any artist, you'll see more about what they do and photos and how to get on the Zoom Live and also on the Facebook Live. So today what we're going to be doing is, I wanted to let you know the chat will not be available to our viewers. However, the Q&A is available. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the Q&A and we will get them answered for you. I will also be trying to watch Facebook for comments and questions. Facebook, as you know, can be a little bit tricky at times. Sometimes the comments don't show up as you think they should. So, but I will try to keep ahead of those too. So feel free to go ahead and ask questions on Facebook or here on the Zoom webinar. And right now, I am going to turn it over to our MC for the evening, my sister, Karen Swanson. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Kathy. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the introduction and just a little bit about myself. I know the people who've been watching every other night already know all this by now, but I try and change a little something each day. Let's see. We have between Kathy and myself and all of our siblings, there's 7 of us siblings. So that's a little bit of trivia nobody knew. We're part of a pioneer family. My dad grew up in Sedona with his parents, moved there and homesteaded there in the 20s. So that's why the museum is really special to us. And we've been there many times. Kathy works there, of course, but I go there pretty often. Not so much the last several months, of course, but that's why we're doing this. So the craft fair, though, is a big part of it. Every year, I really look forward to it, and I've had friends do it with us, and so I've been on the vendor side of it. I've been on the participant side where I go buy everything usually. So, Kathy, I'm not sure why, but my screen just went to the picture. I'm not sure if that's okay, but I'll keep talking. Today's artist, we have someone here who's is going to tell us about the products that she makes are from Chaparral, and she's going to explain that. I don't really know too much about it, so this will be a learning experience for me today. So, and on that note, I would like to turn this over to our artist of the day, Grace. Grace, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can see you too.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Karen. I just want to thank you for supporting the local artists and giving us this opportunity to share our passion with the community and the world. And as we gather and talk about some very interesting things about this sacred healing plant, the chaparral plant. I've done the show for 4 years, and I do tell you I was very disappointed about not being able to participate, but this is wonderful. So thank you for getting the technology together and giving us this opportunity. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Grace, can you talk a little bit louder for us?
I can. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. All right. Well, my company is called Arizona Desert Rain, and I help people to have more optimal health and well-being with less pain from the chaparral plant, which grows in my backyard right here in the Verde Valley. So I have a little story to tell about how I got started with all this. In 1980, I had a car accident and it created debilitating pain in my neck and my shoulders and my arms. And for all these years, I've tried everything. I tried chiropractic, I tried prescriptions, which didn't work. I tried acupuncture, acupressure, massage, meditation, all sorts of things, and nothing seemed to work. And when I moved here to Arizona, I heard someone talk about the chaparral plant, that it was very healing and it could eliminate pain. So I decided to do some research, which I did, and I started making the salve. But prior to that, I used to live in Alaska. I lived on a little island called Prince of Wales Island in Southeast Alaska. And I learned how to make salves and tinctures from the clinkets and the hydras. So I already knew how to make the salves, and I kind of took that recipe and just played around with it for about a year till I perfected it. And I came up with this beautiful salve that I make that's a body salve. And I will explain a little bit more about that later. So up to this point of doing all kinds of experimentation and research, I now have 10 products in my product line that I can share with the world. So yes, it is called Chaparral, but it has other names as well. It's also called Creosote. However, not to be confused with the creosote that is used for the railroad ties and telephone poles. That is made from a certain pine tree, and that is also petroleum based, where my products are all organic oils and very clean and pure. It's also called greasewood, and that is a lot of the natives know it as greasewood. And it's also got the Latin name of Laurea tridentata. That's a big mouthful, Laurea tridentata. And there is a special chemical that is in the plant that is called Nordic hydroguyaretic acid. Now that's a mouthful. Nordic hydroguyaretic acid. And that's this powerful antioxidant that is responsible for the healing powers. It's an antioxidant, it's antibacterial, it's antifungal, and it's anti-inflammatory, all in one plant. It's just an amazing plant. And I prefer to just call, instead of using those big long words, I just prefer to call it Mother Earth's Pharmacy. So I want to give you some trivia about the plant, and probably none of you know about this if you haven't studied or you don't know about the plant, but it is 11,700 years old. So it has withstood the test of time for a long, long time. One of the wonderful things about it is that I can gather this all year long. So many times there are herbs that have a window of opportunity where all you can do is wait until it flowers or wait until it leaves out, and then you pick it and gather it and dry it. But with Chaparral, I can pick all year long, and I have several different places near my house, in my backyard and around my house, that I can gather this. And I gather certain things, certain times of the year. I can gather when it is more lush and more green because there's water runoff or dew, which I'll explain that a little bit later. One interesting thing about Chaparral is it relatively has no pests. There are no bugs, except every once in a while I might find a little ant or a creepy crawler on one of the plants, and I'm not quite sure where it came from, but I shake it off and let it go on its own little merry way. But the animals do not eat it. Grasshoppers don't like it, thank goodness. They took care of my zucchini this summer for sure. But the bees are very attracted to it when it blossoms. And when I pick when it is blossoming, I just welcome them. It's so nice to see the bees buzzing around the little flowers and pollinating and being bees, being bees. So. Another very interesting fact is that the Chaparral plant has no thorns, no spikes, or no spurs. No spires, no nothing. It's not like walking through mesquite or catclaw, where if you walk beside them, you know you're going to come out with all kinds of scratches all over your body. There are no spikes or stickers or pickers or anything in the chaparral plant, which is just wonderful. Another interesting fact is that this plant can live up to 2 years without water, hence the reason it lasted for 11,700 years. What it does, it's a really interesting, intelligent plant, and what it does is, picture this as being one of the little tiny leaves that has many leaves on the stem, but picture this as being one of the leaves, and when the sun comes up and starts to get hot, it folds its leaves toward the center, and the plant faces north, so that it retains the water inside of the leaf, and thus it doesn't need a whole lot of water. A lot of cactuses will also do that just to retain the water within them. They'll face east or they'll face north, which is so intelligent. I mean, how do they think about doing this? It's just amazing, you know? And when it blooms, it will bloom in the spring, and it is just so beautiful and lush to be walking in among the patches of the chaparral, and it's just laden with these beautiful yellow flowers. And then it will also bloom if it rains at least an inch, which means mostly during our monsoon season. So I'm going to hold up a little picture here. It's one of my photographs of the flower itself. This is very enlarged. It's just about the size of my little fingernail. That's the size of the flower. It's very small little flower, but they just populate the branches, and it's just, sometimes they're so heavy with the flowers, it just leans down. It's just beautiful, beautiful.
That's really pretty. There's a question here. Is it something that natively grows in the Verde Valley, or is it something you brought here and planted?
Oh no, it grows everywhere in the Verde Valley. It actually grows up into Nevada and I think Utah as well, some lower parts of southern Utah. Grows in through Arizona. Generally, it does not grow in Sedona, by the way, because the elevation's too high. So it grows like from here, it actually grows in Cottonwood. A lot of it's in Cottonwood, down into the Verde Valley, grows over into New Mexico, as far into California, and down through Mexico itself, into Texas and Mexico. And if you're ever driving to LA, and I forget what highway that is going along there, but you look and there's fields and just miles and miles and miles of it, just everywhere. And most people just bypass it and just like, it's just, weeds, whatever. But it's the chaparral plant. So
that's really interesting. So there's probably plenty in Phoenix, I would guess, or in the surrounding area.
It does grow in Phoenix. I oftentimes will pick when I go down to Wickenburg. There's plenty of beautiful fields there. And interestingly enough, a lot of times when I go to Wickenburg, there's a show that I do down there. It'll be blooming down there when it's not blooming up here. Oh. And another interesting fact is, from my backyard, I can see the Verde Cliff Dweller Caves, and it's all the chaparral is dotted all along going up into the caves, because I have hiked up there many times. And down below here on the highway, it's not blooming, but it's blooming up in the caves. So a lot of times I will go up there to pick for my tea. I always pick my tea when it is in blossom, because what happens is when the roots are giving all that yummy deliciousness up to the flowers, it's helping that plant to live another season through. So there's all this, it's just more potent and stronger. And so I love to pick it when I go up to the caves. I feel that the ancients and the ancestors are there, and they've already blessed it for us. And it's just nice and potent and strong and very healing.
That's really interesting. So you can get tea from it too, so it's edible as well?
Yes, and I will explain that shortly when I tell you about all my different products that I have.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'll get to that. So I tend to feel that the chaparral plant is feminine, a very feminine plant. In fact, sometimes I even call her Chaparella. And she's very intelligent. She has a community. She's very nurturing and sustainable and healing. And she goes through these dramatic climate changes, because we go from cold to hot to hotter to hotter, like we had this summer. But what happens is the mother plant starts to grow, and she sends out runners, and almost all equidistant of her own original plant. And these little babies just pop up all along and start to grow. And so she keeps her whole community and her family all encircled around her. And from there, the babies will put more runners out. The interesting thing is that when they put these runners out, these runners absorb all the rain and the dew from the soil, and nothing else grows around them except low-lying plants like grasses and some low cactuses that grow. So why she does that is because she keeps everything all in her little cluster, so that keeps her healing and nurtured. So when you look at a field of chaparral, you may look out and that's all you see. You're not going to see mesquite trees, maybe one popped up somewhere along the way, but you're not going to see a cluster of them. You're not going to see cadclaw. You're not going to see any other trees growing in a chaparral field where there's acres and acres of it, because it takes and sucks all that water and will not allow anything else to live there. So she keeps all that yummy, delicious water for herself so that she can keep her plant going. Hence the reason why she's made it for 11,700 years, and because that's why she can go for 2 years without any water, which is just an incredible, intelligent plant.
That's really cool. So do you live in the Cottonwood area then?
I live in Verde Lakes, which is a subdivision of Camp Verde.
Okay.
And yeah, I have them in my backyard, and then I have permission to pick in some of the fields that are nearby me.
It's funny, you were talking about the climate and the temperature and everything, and it sounds like a typical female to me because, you know, it's like always kicking the covers off, putting the covers on, kicking them off.
And the other thing that most people that are locals that are familiar with the plant is that if you've ever gone hiking after the rain, this is what you smell.
Oh,
All these volatile oils that just permeate the air, because when it rains, it gets more humid and it gets warmer, and the smell just fills the air. So if you've ever gone hiking after a rainstorm, this is what you smell. And I have people that will pick up my product and they just take a good long whiff and they're, oh, it just brings back the smell of the desert when it rains.
oh, and there's nothing like rain in the middle of the desert too. I just love the rain here.
Yes, and we're praying for more any day now, right?
Yes.
We need it so desperately. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about how I gather the chaparral. The first thing I do when I go is I ask Mother Earth, can we have permission to gather today? And she always says yes. And then I thank her for giving us this beautiful healing sacred plant. And then I bless everyone that is going to be using the products that I'm making from this sacred healing plant. And then I sing and I dance and I drum and I talk to them and talk to the bugs that are crawling around, or making enough noise that if there's javelinas or anybody else that's hanging out, it's like, here's Grace, she's in here, she's taking care of business and she's getting the sacred medicine ready. We're going to leave her alone. So and that's why I sing and dance and drum and just make a joyful noise, you know. So then when I finish with all my products, and before I put any of the lids or the labels on, I say a Reiki energy prayer blessing. So it's blessed more than one time. So I just have that as part of my routine. So therefore, I say that my first ingredient is love.
That's really sweet. It reminds me of that movie, Betty White is in that movie, The Proposal, with Sandra Bullock. And she's out, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a pretty popular movie. It's funny. And she's doing the dancing and the singing and all that in nature. It's funny. So I can just
I think I've seen that, yeah. So, and then speaking of ingredients, love being my first ingredient, I use all organic oils and butters, and I use olive oil, grapeseed oil, and coconut oil. And then I also, in my salves, I use beeswax, and I get that from the honey man down in Prescott Valley because he's got the most pure, beautiful honey-colored beeswax. And so that's what I've used. I've tried others and ended up by dumping the whole product because it just doesn't cut to the quality of what he has. So when people put it on, the first thing they go, oh, this feels really wonderful on my skin, you know, and it absorbs. If your skin is really dry, which nobody in Arizona has dry skin, right? It absorbs right into their skin, into the elbows. I put it on my feet every night before I go to bed because we're wearing sandals all summer long. and our feet just get dry and crusty, and it just helps to ease that and make them nice and soft.
All right. Well, how about some products? Do you have some products?
Yeah, I do. I got some show and tell for you. So the first product that I made was, of course, the body salve. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably not too.
Yes, I can.
Is it backwards? I don't know if you can see it. But anyway,
no, it's not
oh,
backwards.
good. Okay, this is the body salve that I first made, and it's good for aches and pains, bug bites, bee stings, and dry skin. And that's what I usually tell people, but nobody in Arizona has dry skin. It always makes everybody just perk up and laugh. I give them a little sample, and they'll put it on like knuckles that hurt, and like seconds later they'll go, oh my gosh, I can move this hand. I've had unbelievable comments from people that have had knee problems. I have a girlfriend who has 2 knees that need replacement, and she buys at least one of these tubs a month from me, puts them on her knees because she said to her doctor, I am not getting knee surgery, because it means that she'd have to recuperate 2 to 3 months, and she doesn't want to do that. And this helps to keep the pain at a level that she can either tolerate or none at all. So
Yeah.
then one of my newest products is I now have the salve with CBD in it, and I get my CBD from a gentleman named Ron in Cottonwood, who puts just as much love into his products as I put into mine. And I infuse 500 milligrams of CBD in each one of these jars. And when I give this to somebody, it's usually somebody that has really intense pain, like very deep muscle pain or joint pain. And this is absolutely amazing. I had a friend of mine who had, actually my daughter had a shoulder operation, and she put this on and she called me up and she goes, Mom, this stuff really, really works. It's just amazing. So it is very powerful if you have a high level of pain and some damaging issues in your body.
Sounds like my story. I just had a shoulder surgery a year ago, and I still have excruciating pain.
Well, we got to get you some of this medicine here.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I live by the creek here in Camp Verde, and the no-see-ums and the mosquitoes love me. So I formulated this Bug Speak On bug repellent. Stop the itch before it gets started. And this has all of the essential oils in it that the bugs don't like. And I have to read this list, so excuse me for looking over here to the screen, because I put so much stuff in here, I can never remember how much stuff I put in it. But its first ingredient is citronella, cedarwood, tea tree, eucalyptus, lavender, cloves, and rosemary. And when you put this on, all you do is, and a little, on all my salves, a little goes a long way because it just glides over your skin. But when you put this on the exposed areas of your skin, it tends to just chase all of those bugs away because they don't like this smell. So
yeah,
it repels them. And if you do get a bug bite or a bee sting, you can actually just still take this formula and put it on that bug bite or bee sting, and it literally takes the itch away. I've had people, and I did a show on Labor Day. I got stung by bees 5 times. So wow. I was testing my product out. And it
we have a question about the CBD.
Yes.
Is there, someone asked if there is THC in it?
Well, there's a very small percentage in any hemp product. They say it's like 0.3. So it's really nothing that anybody has to worry about with getting tested and so forth. That's what I've heard. So with any CBD product, it's like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then one of my favorite things is I make a bath and shampoo bar. I've been making soap for many, many years. I again learned how to make soap when I lived up in Alaska. I took a couple classes up there, and I've been making my soap ever since. And I call it my bath and shampoo bar because what you do, my soap is very unique. What you do is you just slide the paper label off and you use it in the scrubby. Every one of them, it takes a little bit longer to manufacture these and to put them together, but it's so worth it. So when you get it wet in the shower, you just rub it on your skin and it exfoliates your skin, but you get this delicious lather, and you can even wash your hair with it. My hair's short. Longer hair is probably a little bit of a hard time, but what's happening is when you're using the commercial shampoos and conditioners, it's got a lot of chemicals in it. It's taking a lot of the natural oils out of your hair. This is made with all these wonderful natural oils, so it's actually putting the oils back into your hair, making your hair more pliable and softer and shinier. And that's all I use. I don't even use a cream rinse. And I got that by accident because one day I was taking a shower and all I had in the shower was my bar of soap, and I ran out of shampoo. I'm like, I guess I'm going to wash my hair with this. It was wonderful, and I've been using it ever since. So, and everybody loves my soap. Ask anybody that's bought this. They just love my soap. So I'm so happy that it turned out. I don't know how I got the recipe. I just played around, and one day it was it. And there we go.
So that wrapper around it is actually like a scrubby thing?
Yeah, it's one of those scrubbies that lather up. Yep. And then I tie the ends and make it nice and tight. And then all you do is just take the paper off, and that instructions are right on the label there too.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, what's next? Oh, this is one of my favorite products of all. I always seem to, especially here, have always had dry lips. So what I do is I made this lip balm, and this has the same formula that my salves have, but I added shea butter to this. So shea butter is a nice soft butter, and it helps you to be able to smooth it onto your lips a little bit better. But I have to tell you, you have to be really careful when you use this because it makes your lips more kissable. So beware. I tell everybody that.
Sounds like I need to give me some of that.
Yes, I've had some fun things. I tell couples that makes your lips more kissable, and they'll be kissing right in front of my booth. I'm like, hey guys, cut it out, you know. Let's see. Let me do this first. So what I also do is I make a smudge wand, which is a wrapped chaparral, and it's wrapped with jute, and it makes a wand like this. And what the natives did before they knew about white sage, this is what they burned and used for their rituals and their ceremonies. And we use it a lot of time at drum circles, and we also use it for sister circles that we do. And it just smells absolutely wonderful. And the nice thing about this is, you saw I just lit it, I blew it out, and this will actually go out. Unlike sage, it tends to burn and just keep burning and burning, and you set it down and then you pick it up and the whole thing falls apart. This will just go out in a matter of seconds. And this is what I just burned out is all you need to just permeate the air and make your house smell really wonderful. And it helps to detoxify and cleanse the air and the surroundings, and you can do it to smudge yourself as well if you have a ceremonial ritual in the morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you might want to do that. But it smells absolutely wonderful. So that's my smudging. And what I have done at a lot of the shows that I do, whenever I encounter any of the Hopis or the Navajos or Yavapai Apaches, I ask them, what do you know about chaparral that you can tell me? And many of them say that when anyone in the household got sick with the sniffles or a cough, mom or grandma or auntie would go out into the desert and gather some chaparral, bring it back to the house, put it in a pot of boiling water, and everybody had to drink that. And they're complaining and saying, it tastes really bad. So the ultimate thing that happened was that nobody got sick, and this would help them to stay well and boost their immune system. So I solved that problem. I made a formula of chaparral with mint tea. I have an organic mint tea that I purchased online, and I mix it with the chaparral tea so that it tastes really wonderful. And you can add some honey to it. I usually put a little bit of stevia in it. You can use monk fruit or pure cane sugar or whatever kind of sweetener you want, but it helps to make the taste a lot better and palatable so that people will buy it and they'll drink it. And you don't need much at all. This package is a little, about almost an ounce to be able to fit into this bag. And this will make 20 quarts. So you don't need much at all. All you need is like about a half a teaspoon, and you just put it in some hot water, not boiling water. All the directions are here on the front label, but it helps to cleanse and detoxify the body, helps with indigestion and heartburn, helps to detoxify the blood and cleanse the liver. Keeps everything moving just the way it was supposed to be, keeps your immune system boosted up. And this is something we really need today with all that's going on with us. And then this can also be used for a bath compress. If you want, you can put it in your bath and take a bath with it. You can put it in a little scrubby kind of thing, netting thing, and make a tea out of it for your bath water and enjoy that. So that's my Chaparral mint tea. And going hand in hand with that, one of my newer products here is the Chaperone Tinkster, which works basically the same way that the tea does, but this is infused in 40% alcohol for several months, so it's very strong. And all you have to do is take about a little bit of water. Say you have a tummy ache because you ate too much hot stuff at dinner at night, the night before, or that night before, when you went to bed. And just take a small amount of water, put 5 or 10 little drops of this in the water. You can even add juice or dilute it more so that if you don't like the taste. But to drink that down and your tummy ache goes away. It's just an amazing detoxifying, alkalizing, and internal cleansing of the digestive system. And again, this is made with 40% proof alcohol. So very, very potent. Don't want to ever take it without putting it in something to dilute it. You don't want to put this under your tongue because it's very strong. So that's my tip.
Is that one probably not safe? I was thinking about morning sickness, but with the alcohol, it's probably not safe to use during pregnancy.
Well, my thoughts about taking anything, and I have a lot of pregnant women that I talk to that want to take it, and I say, it's up to you to determine. I mean, everything that you look at, all kinds of things that are at the drugstore and in the grocery store, don't take if you're pregnant. I think you have to make that decision yourself and use things in moderation. But this is a decision that you have to make. A lot of women today have midwives or doctors who are more with alternative medicine, and I would highly suggest that you discuss that with them. I mean, the natives didn't bother. They just did that, and they continued their line of genealogy. So I think it has to be a decision that you make yourself, but I don't recommend it. I recommend that you get some advice from your general practitioner or your doctor or whoever. Yeah. And then another story that I have gotten from the natives is that they actually took this plant when they were in the desert, and because I mentioned before that it has a lot of volatile oils in it, they would actually pick the plant and rub it on their skin, and it would act as a sunscreen. And they'd use that for themselves and their animals. And so what I did was I formulated a sunscreen massage oil. And as a sunscreen, it protects you naturally and moisturizes your skin, deeply nourishing, and it also protects you from the sun. So if you're going out, I usually slather this all over me. And you can also go in the water with this because it's an oil. It's not gonna wash off. And if you do get sunburn, then you put it on your sunburn and it helps to ease the pain. And it also helps that if you get a lot of sunburn, that you don't peel. So it moisturizes the skin, because if your skin peels, it means it's too dry. So this helps to moisturize that. And it also helps, like I said, helps with the sunburn, and helps. It's a healthy way to replenish the skin with moisture that it craves during the summer months. And then you can also use it as a massage oil. It rejuvenates and soothes. As the massage therapist is rubbing this on your body, you can feel this warmth come through, which is just wonderful. And if you love the smell of the chaparral that you leave, and you smell like the desert rain, So, and then this can also be used for bug bites and these things as well. And a little on this goes a long way as well. And last but not least, I developed a hand sanitizer, which this is antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory. This sacred medicine right here is all natural. It's chemical free. There's no alcohol in it. I don't know about you, but I won't use the hand sanitizers that are sitting in every counter everywhere across America, because it's got so many chemicals in it, and all that's going into your body. So this has no alcohol in it because the chaparral plant already is antibacterial and antiviral and anti-inflammatory. And all you have to do is spray this on your hands or your surfaces. It is chaparral infused in spring water for a long period of time so that it gets really intense, and a lot of the infusion is very strong. And then I also put camphor and eucalyptus oils in it so it smells really nice. And that's my little show and tell for you. Do you have any questions?
So I was just wondering, are your prices all listed on your website?
They are, and my website is arizonadesertrain.com, and there's a menu up top, and there's a lot of information, some of which I have shared with you now, and then there's other things on there as well. And the middle part of the menu up top is to shop, and each one of my products has a very detailed description, so similar to what I just told you now, but it all has a lot of information, and the prices are all there. All my prices include shipping, and any orders I have, I ship out usually the next day, provided that everything's in stock, which usually it is. I've been trying to keep up ahead of all the inventory. So far, so. But arizonadesertrain.com is my website.
It's been very interesting. I've learned a lot just from this little half hour here. And you did a great job of going through all your products. So I really appreciate that.
Well, I am honored to be the medicine keeper of this sacred chaparral plant. It's what I have been called to do. I used to do jewelry like this and a lot of other things. And just one day I just heard the divine say, we're doing chaparral and that's it, because you got to save the planet and get this medicine out to people. So I am honored to have spent this time with you, and I send you blessings all to each and every one of you. Thank you.
I will take those blessings. Thank you very much. And blessings back to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And with that, I really appreciate your presentation. And with that, I will turn it back over to Kathy, and we'll say goodnight.
Okay.
All right, Kath.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. And just a reminder, you can find our list of all the vendors on our website, sedonamuseum.org. We will also be posting the videos to YouTube. Just ask you to bear with me a little bit. Give me a couple days to get that after they're recorded. But they will be up there, and we'll keep them up there through Christmas. So you guys go head over there to our YouTube channel and do your Christmas shopping. And to get to that, the easiest way is go to our website again, and we have a link right to YouTube, and just look for the Artist a Day playlist, and you'll be able to view all the videos. All right. Well, Grace, it was so nice to talk with you, and Karen, thank you again. And we're going to say goodbye. You guys have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care.